Student days. I did enjoy my days as a student in Dunedin. 4 of us had an old house, and there was Andrew Boved, Peter Heim, myself, and Bill Unman. And it was quite interesting. I had an old motorbike, and every Friday morning I'd get up at 3:30, and 2 of us would go across the hills out of Dunedin and we'd shoot rabbits. And we'd get a sack of rabbits and we'd come back, we'd clean them, and we'd sell them to the students. And we'd sell 1 or 2 rabbits for 1 and 6pence, depending how badly they'd been mutilated. But we lived on rabbits every weekend. And the other students were happy to buy rabbits from us so cheaply. That paid for the bullets and petrol. But we worked hard. And we swatted hard. I found that starting off with anatomy, it was not an easy subject. It was difficult. And we would come home every day, we'd do what we had to do, and we'd study. And the guy that shared a room with me, his name was Andrew Boved, I would swat till midnight. And I'd wake him up at midnight with a cup of tea. He'd have a cup of tea. He'd swat till 6 o'clock in the morning. And he'd wake me up with a cup of tea. I'd get up, I'd do some more swat, and he'd go back and have another hour or so sleep. And one of the things that really disappointed me, on the day I qualified, and you won't believe this, on the day I qualified, I was not happy. I was not happy because I looked at who had qualified. And there were some people there that had qualified. I couldn't believe they'd qualified. And I thought, well, if they've qualified, I've got nothing to be proud about. They didn't work hard. They partied and lived it up. In those days, they were daughters of the wealthy, and they'd gone to Dunedin for all sorts of reasons. They didn't know what they wanted to be. And 95% were out of physio within 12 months. They weren't career people. Today, it's a different world. But we knew these people were filling in time, hoping to marry a dentist or a doctor or some other professional, and somehow they passed those exams, and I don't know how they passed them. But speaking of passing exams, I was a state examiner for years, and I remember on one occasion there were rules set for how you pass physiotherapy exams, and this girl had failed miserably in her paper, and so I thought, oh, this is embarrassing. She is entitled to a Viva. And how can I give her a Viva, knowing that she's failed, and do it with any enthusiasm? And what if she did well in it? So I prepared the most difficult Viva I could. I just got questions from, I don't know where I got them from, but this girl was going to fail that Viva so that I had no problems, because she'd failed the exam anyway, having not passed the paper. And do you know, she answered everything. I could not believe it. I spent more time with her than I should. And if she had had an excellent mark in her paper, I would have given her a distinction. And she knew she had answered every question. She knew that I couldn't fault her. And I said, well, thank you very much. And I had a terrible conscience with this. So I wrote to the board. And I said, I know the rules are this, this, and this, but I just feel that there may have been some special reason why she did so badly in her paper, and she'd been a reasonable student all the way through. And I said I gave her an extensive Viva, and she passed with flying colours. She passed the Viva with distinction. And was there any way the board could pass her? Was there any provision for the board to pass her? Because I didn't feel that she deserved to fail. I thought she was as good as anyone. And would you believe they did? It took 2 or 3 months. But they did bend the rules and pass her. They wrote to me and asked for all the questions I'd asked her. And I kept notes and I sent them to them. And they looked at them, and and they passed her. But anyway, that's not talking about my days as a student, but I didn't enjoy my days as a student. They were fun, but I was lucky because there were 7 guys in the class, and we did all sorts of great things. We had tennis tournaments, and it was fun. It was great.